Many workshops ago, we learned to make Paracord Pals, actually in workshop 2. We've also looked at snake knots a few times. Well, our good friend Ted has come up with his own design for Paracord Pals using snake knots. Ted was kind enough to demonstrate how he makes them at the end of a recent workshop. I'm not sure I can do them justice just yet. Mine are certainly not as good as Ted's. I need a bit more practice. Ted actually uses beads for hands and feet and has sourced military type beads for heads. However, I thought I'd try to show you the basics of how these are made without the need for anything but cord. We'll make the head from a lanyard knot. You might like to try a double lanyard knot. Details are in your workshop document. You'll need about 3 feet of cord for the head, body and legs, and about 9 inches for the arms and hands. These are actually quite generous amounts, but it's best to err on too much rather than too little, certainly for the first 1 or 2 attempts. Some of you have tied lanyard knots before, but if you need a recap, details are in your workshop document. In the meantime, this part of the video might bring it back to you. Tie the lanyard knots in the middle of your long piece of cord. Try to make it so that the 2 protruding pieces of cord afterwards are roughly the same length. If one end's much longer than the other, then you can feed the longer bit back through the knot and manipulate things before pulling everything tight. The loop at the top is according to preference, but make it big enough to put a split ring through if you want to make a key fob. Now we can tie our first snake knot. The knot should be familiar to you all, but if you don't find the following part of this video sufficient to remind you, there is a link in your workshop document to a video everyone's found useful in the past. Don't tighten this first snake knot up until you've threaded the small cord through the knot to make the arms and hands. We'll look at that in a minute. If you want to make the shoulders broad, then you need to wrap the 2 ends around their respective sides of the snake knot to make it wider. A warning though, I find this the trickiest part of the whole process, tightening up this wider snake knot. You might want to simply use a normal snake knot for your first attempt. It'll still make a nice Paracord Pal. I mean, not everybody's got broad shoulders after all. Don't forget to thread the short piece of cord through for the arms and hands before you think about tightening things up. See what I mean about it being tricky to tighten the wide snake knot? You do need to make it tight though, otherwise the arms will slide around. The rest, as they say, is easy peasy. Simply carry on tying snake knots until you're happy with the length of the body. I think everyone now knows what to do to finish off. Use simple overhand knots for hands and feet. Cut any excess cord away, leaving about 1/8 of an inch protruding, which you can burn and then press against the knot to seal it. Like me, it'll probably take you a few attempts to get them as good as Ted's, but wouldn't it be nice to give it a go as our way of thanking Ted for generously sharing his design? Thanks, Ted. And thanks for watching and listening to me, Phil the Rope. See you next time.